In this lesson, we'll learn how to properly hide and unhide rows and columns. So usually what most of our students first do on their first day of financial modeling offline classes is that if I tell them to hide some rows or some columns, they select the rows that they want to hide, and what they would do is they would use the right click button and press hide. So it's going to look something like this. Well, this also does work, but it creates a simple slight problem, that is, you will never know what is hidden, where what is hidden. It's very difficult to tell unless you look at the numbers very closely. Well, after 12 it jumps to 32, but it's much more difficult to spot, especially if you've hidden just one single row. It's going to be very difficult to spot because the numbers are close to each other. So we don't really recommend this function because it's not only you who's going to be using this financial model. You will share it with your teammates. You'll share it to your boss, your clients, or your target company. So they have to know, they should know what's hidden and understand how the models are linked to each other. So we suggest an alternative. What we're going to do is we're first going to group these rows. So by group, we're going to select the entire rows by selecting Shift space. And we're going to use the Shift key, the Alt key, and then the right arrow key together. And what it does is it creates a button that you can click, which will eventually hide what you have just grouped. So unlike the original hide function that I showed before, now it tells the readers of the model that something is actually hidden in between, and all you have to do is click this button to unhide. Of course, we do have the shortcuts for hiding and unhiding, but before that, we've used the Shift space, the Shift Alt, right arrow key to group some of the items. On the other hand, if you want to ungroup these items, what you would do is you would do the exact opposite. So by exact opposite, I mean Shift space. Up until here it's the same, but afterwards you're going to press the Shift Alt and the left arrow key to ungroup. So Shift Alt, right arrow key groups, Shift Alt, left arrow key ungroups. And also you can ungroup just a portion of these rows. For example, if you only want to ungroup these line items, you can also select only these 5 rows, Shift Alt left, and now the groups are separated into 2, and you could do the groupings back again by doing Shift space, Shift Alt the right arrow key just once more. Same for columns. If you want to hide the forecast, for example, Control space, Shift Alt, right arrow key creates a group on the top, and Shift Alt left does the opposite. Lastly, as I mentioned, the shortcuts to hide and unhide without using your mouse, the shortcuts would be Alt, this time A for data, and H for hide. So Alt A H to hide your data, Alt A J to unhide whatever's hidden. I'm not sure about why they've designated the J shortcut for unhide, but anyways, Alt A H to hide, Alt A J to unhide. So in this lesson, we've learned how to group rows and columns, how to ungroup rows and columns, how to hide groups and unhide groups by just using your keyboard.